What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to take a quick return to Metropolis to see what happens when Superman Returns from 2006, starring Brandon Routh, Kate Bosworth, James Marsden, Frank Langella, Parker Posey, Cal Penn, Kevin Spacey, Marlon Brando, Jack Larson, and Noel Neal. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And like I said during the introduction, today we make a quick return to Metropolis before going back to Gotham City. And we're going to talk about what happened when Superman returned. And as our movie opens, Superman has been missing for 5 years, ever since he left to travel to the location where astronomers believed they had discovered the remains of Krypton. During his absence, Superman's nemesis, Lex Luthor, was released from prison and married a rich widow in order to obtain her fortune upon her death. Superman, having failed in his quest to find surviving Kryptonians, returns to Earth and, as Clark Kent, resumes his job at the Daily Planet in Metropolis. He subsequently learns that Lois Lane has won the Pulitzer Prize for her article, "Why the World Doesn't Need Superman." Meanwhile, Lex Luthor travels to the Fortress of Solitude and steals Kryptonian crystals, which he uses for an experiment that causes a complete power outage on the East Coast. The power loss interferes with the flight test of a space shuttle to be launched into space from its piggyback mounting on an airliner, which is occupied by Lois Lane, who is covering the story. Clark flies into action as Superman and stops the plane from crashing onto a baseball stadium. The world rejoices at Superman's return, but he has difficulty coping with Lois's fiancé, Richard White, the nephew of Daily Planet editor-in-chief Perry White, and their 5-year-old son, Jason. With Superman distracted by an out-of-control vehicle, Lex Luthor steals kryptonite from the Metropolis Museum of Natural History. Perry then assigns Lois to interview Superman while Clark investigates the blackout. Lois and Jason inadvertently board Luthor's yacht and are captured after Lois decides to hold interest in the blackout story, which she connects to Luthor's experiment. He reveals to them his grand scheme of using one of the stolen Kryptonian crystals, which he has combined with the kryptonite, to grow a new continental landmass in the North Atlantic Ocean that will cause sea levels to rise drastically, killing billions of people. When he witnesses Jason seemingly having a slight reaction to the kryptonite, Lex Luthor asks who Jason's father really is, and Lois asserts that the father is Richard. The crystal begins to create Luthor's new landmass, while Lois attempts to escape, but is attacked by a henchman. Jason throws a piano at the henchman, killing him and showing that he is actually Superman's son. Meanwhile, Superman is attempting to minimize the destruction in Metropolis caused by the new landmass's growth when Richard arrives in a seaplane to rescue Lois and Jason. Superman soon arrives to help and then flies off to find Lex Luthor. Meeting Luthor, Superman discovers that the landmass is filled with kryptonite, which weakens him to the point that Lex and his henchmen are able to defeat him. Superman is stabbed by Luthor with a shard of kryptonite, and he falls into the ocean. Lois makes Richard turn back to rescue Superman, whereupon she removes the kryptonite from his back. After regaining his strength from the sun, Superman lifts the landmass after putting layers of earth between him and the kryptonite. Lex and Kitty escape in their helicopter, but Kitty, unwilling to let billions of people die, tosses away the crystals that Lex stole from the Fortress of Solitude. Kitty and Luthor end up stranded on a deserted island when their helicopter runs out of fuel. Superman pushes the landmass into space with the crystals trapped on the landmass, but he becomes weakened by the kryptonite and ends up crashing back down to Earth. Doctors remove more kryptonite from Superman's wound, but after it is removed, they cannot penetrate his skin with their surgical tools. While Superman remains in a coma, Lois and Jason visit him at the hospital, where Lois whispers a secret into Superman's ear and then kisses him. Superman later awakens and flies to visit Jason, reciting his father's last speech to Jason as he sleeps. The sons become the father becomes the son speech. And our movie ends with Lois beginning to write another article entitled, "Why the World Needs Superman." Superman reassures her that he is now back to stay, and he flies off, where he gazes down at the world once again. I was entertained by this movie, I'd say about 80%. But then, much like I felt with Batman Begins, I felt like this went a little bit too long. I felt like they could have chopped about 20 to 30 minutes out of this, made it a little bit closer to a 2-hour film, and it would have been just better all around, in my opinion. I feel like there was a little bit too much filler in this film that wasn't really necessary. And if you trim off the excess fat, I feel you've got a really stellar film here. Brandon Routh, I think, did an amazing job as Superman. Not near as good as Christopher Reeve, but those are some serious boots to fill. But I think Brandon Routh tried really hard and did an amazing job. I thought Kevin Spacey was a good Lex Luthor. James Marsden, better known to comic book fans as Cyclops in the X-Men films, I thought did a great job here as Richard White. Lois's new love interest, Kate Bosworth, I thought did an amazing job as Lois. Again, no Margot Kidder, but I thought she did a really good job. The casting overall was really good. I just feel like there was a little bit too much filler. And like I said, you trim that fat off and you've got a really smooth flowing film, in my opinion. When it comes to my rating for Superman Returns, I'm willing to give it 3 out of 5 stars. Middle of the pack there. Again, the acting was good. The storytelling was good. It just felt a little bit long in some spots. Otherwise, it was a really solid film, in my opinion. What do you guys think out there? If you're watching the premiere, let me know. Leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Whatever you do, though, when you get out there on social media, let's try to get those hashtags trending. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising?
What's that? Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag Statboy Approved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, when we go back to Gotham City to take a look at 2008's The Dark Knight, starring Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Heath Ledger, Gary Oldman, Aaron Eckhart, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Morgan Freeman, Eric Roberts, Anthony Michael Hall, Michael Jai White, Tom Tiny Lister Jr., and Cillian Murphy. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow, right back here on an all-new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively on the Casa D18 Studios channel, when it is a Casa D18 Studios reunion, as I will be joined both by the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham, as well as the stat boy himself, Mike Caldwell, to break down, talk about, and discuss The Dark Knight. You're not going to want to miss that one. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in for the premiere, leaving your thoughts and comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Likewise, all my loyal fans and viewers out there tuning in a little bit later in the day, watching on demand, leaving your thoughts and comments down here. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all my loyal fans out there that tune in on a regular basis, show me that love, show me that support, trying to help me get my views up so that I can eventually be monetized. Thank you very much for joining me, tuning in, and watching along, and I will see you guys next time.